Hello, love bugs. My name is Katie May, and I am your go-to guide for building an authentic brand based on your artistic abilities. And I just wanted to share a little bit more about kind of what I hope to be able to accomplish and the transformations that I hope that you guys will be able to see through some of my programs. First and foremost, shout out to Miss Breezie Bee. She went ahead, she looked through my Instagram and gave me just some tips on how I can show up a little bit better and be a little bit more understandable through social media. And she did all of that for me for free. Definitely check out her links. I'm going to be posting them in the bio below. We connected through Facebook groups, and I'm going to try to find her Instagram as well if I'm not already following her, because she is an absolute love. That was incredible. I'm very, very grateful for her. So just look her up. She is so intelligent, and she's just wanting to help other people grow as well. So little shout out to her. But one of the main things that we noticed is that I'm not really explaining well why I'm posting the information that I am posting. It's definitely hard through Instagram Reels because it's only like a minute and a half that I'm able to share content with, which is why I prefer YouTube, because obviously we're already at a minute and a half right now and I'm still barely even getting into what I want to describe because I'm a talker. That's just who I am. Summarizing is not my forte, but I am getting better, learning a little bit every day. But some of the things that I really, really want to help people with is I really want to connect with other artists that are trying to grow more local businesses. For me, this is super important because if we can bring more revenue into our actual communities instead of just giving it to big corporations like Walmart or other corporations like that, we're actually going to be able to thrive a lot better in our personal communities because we're going to have a lot more cash flow within our actual people instead of giving that power and that authority to some CEO that has like all the money in the world and gets to decide what we do with it, essentially. So if we can start to take back our money, we also get to take back our power, and we also get to see just a lot more like building and connection and just like so much more good vibes in the long run. The reason why I feel like connecting with artists is important is because artists, everybody's an artist. Everybody has creative abilities. Like whether or not you can pick up a pen or a pencil and like sketch out the most beautiful painting with a pencil. Well, you can sketch out the most beautiful portrait in the world. That does not define you as an artist. Like there's, I bet, hundreds of different art forms, art types. There's another 1,000 different mediums, and you can combine them all if you even wanted to. So when we think of being creative, we can't put it into a box because creativity is all about thinking outside of the box. Any of the infrastructures that you see around you, that was created by an artist. Any of the blueprints, any of the construction, even down to like creating different flavors of Dr. Pepper is an art form in and of itself. So we really just have to stop putting ourselves in this box of saying I'm not creative and realize that we all need to tap into our artistic abilities. I feel like this is super duper important because the more that we tap into these artistic abilities and connect with this side of us, the better that we're actually able to show up authentically. I don't know about you guys, but I still struggle with it when people will come up to me and be like, hey, how are you? And I'll be like, oh, good, how are you? Automatically, without even thinking about it. Whether or not I'm actually doing good in that specific moment, it doesn't matter because it's just a knee-jerk response. Now, if I were to actually show up authentically, I would think about that question a little bit and be like, hey, you know what? I'm actually feeling pretty tired today, but I'll get through it. Just another day. Hey, how are you doing? That is way more authentic to how I'm actually feeling right now than just saying, good, how are you? And that's it. So I feel like when we're able to learn to express ourselves creatively through different art forms, we're also able to show up more authentically in our day-to-day lives with ourselves and with the people around us. This is super important because the more that we're able to show up authentically, the more that we're actually able to connect with our mind, body, and soul, and the more answers to life's daily challenges that we actually get to have. To start this process, I always say that we have to start with mindfulness. Mindfulness is just the ability to connect with your current thoughts, emotions, and feelings. And so the more that you're able to connect with those feelings, and the more that you're able to actually act on them and be able to show up more authentically, the more that your creativity will flow through you, and the better and deeper connections you'll be able to have in this life. Now, I feel like the next question everybody's gonna have is like, who the heck is this girl? Like, talking about all this crap. Like, I've never seen her before, and like, totally fair. I've spent the last 4-ish years now really trying to deepen my spiritual connection with myself. I grew up Mormon, and I no longer participate in the Christian religion because it doesn't feel good and true to me. Personally, I feel like most religions focus on the male God, and they don't really talk about the female version of this God. They don't talk about her power and her ability to nurture and to grow and to care. They just talk about God the Creator. And you have to use both of these energies and both of these powers to be able to create something and to be able to actually build something and bring ideas into the physical realm. So I've been playing a lot with that idea the last few years. I love being out in nature. I love just connecting with life. There's been multiple times where I've driven up to a lake when I was super sad, and I've just laid in the sand and I've asked, like, hey, like, what can the waves teach me about what I'm going through right now? Like, what can the sun teach me, or the clouds? And there's little beautiful moments of wisdom that kind of come through to me that help me navigate my emotions and my feelings a lot better. I used to be a very super reactive person, and there is still some times right now where I'm very emotionally reactive, which is, I don't know, it's a learning process. It's not going to be 0 to 100 like real quick. It's a sliding scale. It's going to happen. But the more that I have allowed this journey of connection to myself, to the world around me, and also to the people around me in ways that feel authentic to me, I'm actually able to feel more confident, more self-assured, and with that confidence and self-assurance, I don't need to react anymore. Whenever I was super reactive, I felt like I had to hold on to this idea of identity, and anytime I felt misconstrued by somebody, or somebody was perceiving me wrong, like, it was an automatic reaction of, no, you're wrong, you're gonna listen to me because I know me better than you know me. And now someone can come up to me and be like, you're really ugly and I hate you. And I'm like, you are so right. Like, from your perspective, that can absolutely be the way that you view me. And now I know how to engage with you in the future to ensure that I still remain in the energy and the personal, emotional state that I want to stay around. Because growing up in kind of a more emotionally abusive household, it was either very quiet and nobody really talked to each other, or it was like balls to the wall, angry, I've had stuff thrown at me. And so because it was very 0 to 100 in that environment, I had a lot of those same patterns, especially in my young adulthood. Very angry, very reactive, and I didn't want that kind of life anymore. I wanted to feel more self-assured. I wanted to stop looking for gratification through other partners in my life, whether it was friends or boyfriends. There's a lot of codependency habits that I had to learn to break. And I'm still learning to break. This is a continual process for me. I just see now in my life that I'm 2 steps further than I was 4 years ago. And so if I can help women and artists and creative people that are in that place that I was 4 years ago get to the place that I am now, so that we can continue to learn and love and grow together, I think that we can, as a group and as a collective, make this world such a better place. And we can, if we all do our little part to help bring the creativity, and if we can bring our communities back together, and if we can start taking back our power and having the confidence to take back our power and investing in our communities, we can see so much more growth, so much more potential, and just so much more excitement in the lives of like day-to-day people. One of the biggest triggers in my life that made me actually commit to trying to bring this confidence to my community and really commit to owning a brand and being a business owner and doing what I can, even if it's scary and even if I feel like I'm going to fail, is because people won't dance with me when I'm out in public. Like, they won't let me lead. They won't like groove with me a little bit. I've asked people like, hey, do you want to like go to the park and paint? I'll provide all of the supplies. All you have to do is show up. And they'll be like, no, I'm not an artist. No, I'm not a painter. And I want to like grab them all by the shoulders. And it's like, yes, you're a dancer, you're an artist, you're a painter, you're a sculptor. Like, maybe you are a beginner at it, but it doesn't mean that you cannot have this identity. I think a lot of the times we take for granted that beginner stage, and we get so overwhelmed by the feeling of perfectionism that we don't allow ourselves to be a beginner at some of the most beautiful art forms that we could ever have. So with that, part of helping other artists gain that confidence is I have a program called Creating Confidence. It is a 12-week program where we do one-on-one Zoom calls. If you ever want to figure out like what the vibe is, I always offer the first Zoom call completely free. It would be an hour long. All you have to do is go to my website and sign up with the Calendly link. And I'll post all of that down below in case that is something you guys are interested in. Part of this 12-week program, it does end with branding. Whether or not you expect to own a business, branding is an essential part of creating an identity for yourself so that you always have an idea of how to move forward in a direction that you can take. So that's my little rant about who I am, what I do, and why I want to share this information with you guys. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys do to stay inspired and feel confident, especially in those times where you don't feel confident at all. So I'll also post my Instagram down below. I always post little reels and ideas of just what mindfulness is, what branding is, and what connection truly means to me. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Make today awesome, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.